Hello there, it's been 4 months since I uploaded the first video of this video series, but I decided it was time to make the second part, and this is about protein. So let's get started with the functions in the body. Proteins are the building blocks of your body, and they help to build and rebuild damaged cells. They also are components of enzymes, hormones and antibodies, and enzymes are needed to, for example, digest nutrition. Hormones are chemicals that send out messages to do something. An example of a hormone is insulin, which will help the body to store glucose. Antibodies are needed to protect you against certain diseases. And proteins can also transport certain nutrients, and they can be used as a fuel. And here you can see some more functions of proteins. Proteins are made out of 20 amino acids that can build up a lot of different proteins. But you will only need 8 essential amino acids from nutrients, because the other 12 can be made by the body itself. So some proteins contain all the essential amino acids, and those are called complete proteins, and some of them don't have all these essential acids and are called incomplete proteins. So here you can see that an average adult only needs 60 grams of protein a day, and a lot of intense sports require a little bit more. A lot of people, and especially bodybuilders, are overdosing themselves with protein, but I will get back on that later in this video. Here you can see how you can calculate the amount of protein that you will need. So you basically take a certain amount of grams per kilo of body weight or per 2 pounds of body weight, depending on what weight that you prefer to use. So runners and team sport players will need a little bit more than the average person, and really big bodybuilders and powerlifters will probably need more than that. But these are just some numbers, and not everyone agrees on how much protein that you will need. So a big amount of bodybuilders is overdosing themselves with protein, and more protein doesn't mean more muscle mass. Bodybuilders who are overdosing themselves are usually those who can lift up a 200-pound barbell but are struggling picking up a book to read it. But not only those who don't read, also the ones who do read, because a lot of information, especially out on the internet, is not completely reliable because of the marketing tactics that are used to sell whey protein and the like. Please don't get me wrong, because whey protein is a good source of protein, but the problem is that a lot of beginners and also more advanced bodybuilders are taking way too much protein that they really don't need. If you don't get enough protein, then you can lose muscle tissue, which is the most important reason for some of you to take enough protein. But you can also get some difficulties with your wounds that are not healing, with a thin skin which can be easily damaged, diarrhea, and it is difficult to take in enough other nutrients because of the transport function of proteins. And 2 important results of getting too much protein in your system is that it can lead to extra stress on your kidneys because of too much urea, which is the waste product of protein. This can be dangerous, especially for those with kidney problems. And the second one is gaining fat tissue, because if you take too much protein, it will simply be used as fat reserves. And here is a short list of the best quality proteins, and on number 1 of the natural products is the egg, and especially the egg yolk, so the yellow part, contains the most amount of protein, about double the amount of protein that you can find in the egg whites. And you can also find protein in dairy products, preferably the lean variations as well as lean meat, because the fat meat contains too much fat, and especially saturated fats. Poultry, fish, shellfish, and also soy products and meat replacements like tofu and quinoa, which are the variations that are suited for vegetarians. And the incomplete proteins are mostly vegetable protein, and these all will lack one or more amino acids that are needed to make a complete protein. But luckily you can increase the usability of the proteins by combining a couple of incomplete proteins like legumes with grains. And this doesn't mean that you have to eat these two products in one and the same meal, but you can also spread it more throughout the day. Getting enough protein is not that difficult for vegetarians. A bigger problem is the amount of iron and vitamin B12, because those are both in vegetable products but not in the amounts as you can find in animal products. And also the animal products that deliver iron and vitamin B12 are a lot better to digest, in contrary to the vegetable products, and especially vitamin B12 from vegetables is close to worthless. And finally, supplementing your diet with whey protein powder is not really useful. If you are having a proper diet, you should be able to get enough proteins and also good quality proteins. So supplementing your diet will always be the last guess. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching and see you next time.